This is what some of it looks like. These are actual cases where we're going to show you some actual pictures of heroin so that you can, if you see it in your homes and you're able to, call us and we can come out there, we can actually test it to make sure it's not just cornstarch or kind of rocked up brown sugar or a cube sugar or anything like that. We can actually run tests to make sure that is an actual narcotic. Next. See, 21.1 years, average age. In our county, and I have regular meetings with our medical examiner's office, and she gave me a figure, and that was a few weeks ago, that we had 24 drug-related deaths. And then the chief told me that they had more. So, I think we're up to like 26 right now, and we don't have that many fatals in Kenosha County. So we have 26 drug deaths here in a county of approximately 160,000 people. Next. This is some of the totals that we actually were able to secure back in 2013, and our numbers are increasing. As far as the grams of cocaine, crack, the heroin, 250 grams is a lot of heroin that's out there. Marijuana is pretty substantial as well. Next slide. That's pretty much kind of what it looks like. I'm going to give you, because it does come in different forms. China white, there's brown, there's many types that are out there. The main killer is the purity of the heroin. Most people, if they're not used to taking a particular kind of heroin, and they get something that's really pure than their system is used to, that's when they start to overdose. Those are actually balloons. Heroin's so small they can pretty much hide it anywhere. So they put, little balloons, and they put it down in the balloons, and then they cut it and they tie it so that if they need to swallow it to hide it from law enforcement, they can. Or if they need to put it somewhere on their body, and I'll let your imagination kind of run wild, they'll put it there, and then they'll be able to get it later. But that's what those little balloons are. Next. Yeah, when I was growing up, I always thought heroin was always injected. Just like in Hollywood, where you put the band around your arm, thump your arm, and the vein will come out, and you suck in the juice, and then let it trickle out of the needle. But nowadays, you can snort it, you can eat it, you can smoke it. Just like marijuana. I mean, medical marijuana can be in a pill form, but it's really cool to smoke it, right? Same with heroin. It's just, if it's injected, it's a quicker way to get into your body. And heroin users can use different areas of their body to inject the drug. I think the worst I've seen was in their carotid artery. I mean, some would do between the toes and the arms. I mean, it's just wild. Next slide. That's when you pretty much cook it up. So if you start seeing your spoons come up missing, or your spoons are burnt, if it's the good silverware, and you're starting to miss spoons, or you go into your child's room and you see a bunch of spoons in there that are burnt, or a collection of spoons, because some drug users like keeping collections of different spoons that they've kind of gathered in their travels and whatnot. If you start seeing scorched spoons, it's kind of a clue. It's a clue for you to start asking questions about what's happening. Next. This is the Narcan. The Narcan is basically the medication that can actually bring people back from their opiate high. I mean, they pretty much block all the opiates, and if it's not too long and the brain has not been deprived of oxygen for from an extended period of time, you'll see them come back. And on this note, I mean, you might think that, I'm a big bad cop, I'm a drug cop, I take people's, their money, their drugs, their vehicles, and all that. But I actually had a very, 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 very close friend whose son actually overdosed and died on heroin. And this friend was so close that she introduced my wife and I together in college and got us together, and we've been married for 1,000 years now. But her son was son Archie was the case in Waukesha County. I don't know if you're familiar with Brad Schimmels, who was the DA there. She was one of the few parents that got really, really active and got involved and kept pushing and pushing for it, because Archie was pretty much, he was a user, then he stopped using, we go into rehab, and their family is very, very wealthy, very high upper middle class family, living in Oconomowoc. And they thought Archie was doing great, had a girlfriend. Girlfriend was not that much of an enabler, but Archie wanted to do it one more time. And on May 20th of this year, Archie's dad, my good friend Drew, tried to wake up his son, and he was blue and he didn't wake him up. So it does affect pretty much everyone in every walk of life. Even as cops, we do have people, friends, family members that are affected by this terrible drug. Next slide. See some of the seizures that we've from heroin traffickers. Next. Okay, and I think there's a few more and we should be done. Oh, yeah, that's what it kind of looks like. As I said before, it looks really, really small. Very small, very easy to hide. Places where you can inject it. Like I said, that's not that scary for me. I thought the carotid artery thing was really, really scary. Okay. Hello. Oh, there we go. That's a lot of heroin.